Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Nathan, and if you know me by now, I make a lot of questionable purchases when it comes to vehicles, and this one is no exception. This is a 2012 BMW X5 35i that has just over 200,000 kilometers, and I bought it for what I thought was a bargain of the century at $2,000. Now, of course, if you know me by now, with the vehicles I purchase, there's always a catch, and that of course is with this vehicle as well. There is a major issue which hinders it from driving. Before I show you guys what the problem is with this vehicle, I figured I'd just give you a quick overview of the vehicle in its current condition. Looking at the interior of the X5, it looks great. You have these lovely seats, which I think have more adjustments I would know what to do with. But nonetheless, though, the interior is just perfect. I mean, you have your infamous iDrive here, which, it's all right. And then you have your nice infotainment system, heated steering wheel. In the back seat here, you do have another climate control right here, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, your panoramic sunroof. You do have your power gate here. Your split tailgate. Believe it or not, this is actually my first BMW, and about 10 years ago I came this close to buying one, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But yet I ended up buying an Audi instead. And actually, if I didn't even test drive that BMW, I probably wouldn't have gotten an Audi. So that's kind of how my whole German luxury car sort of adventure had started, and still to this day. But nonetheless, I finally achieved my goal of getting a BMW. Maybe not the one I really wanted down to a T, but it is a BMW nonetheless. So we'll see what I get into. Underneath the vehicle here, this is the front, here's the engine right here, this is the lower oil pan. And then over to the left hand side here, there is what is the front differential. Now, these do need servicing, just like everything else. All the fluids on these vehicles, these are not lifetime fluids, they have to be serviced at some point. And I don't know what happened with this vehicle, but guess what? Yeah. The bearing blew out. This needs a new front differential, which I have. I told you guys there's always a catch. It's never just as simple as replacing one thing and everything's solved on a vehicle. With this vehicle, it's going to need a major overhaul, and also in the engine. Although this engine is completely clean, and actually I was the one who cleaned it, there's actually some oil leaks here. So the one that I spotted earlier is here on the oil filter housing. So that was leaking down the front of the engine, down there all over the pulleys. And also I had a cylinder misfire on number 5. So I'm going to take out some spark plugs just to see how those are doing, and then probably replace those as well. I figure that's enough of backstory on this vehicle. Let's get into the work now and see what I find. So we're moved here on the driver's side, or the left-hand side of the vehicle. Just looking at the brake rotor right here, it looks in great shape. There's no lip on it. And also the brake pad here, it also looks like it's fairly new as well. So the previous owner of this vehicle must have taken great shape of it, which is good news. So now I just have to remove this nut right here. So I'm going to hit it with some penetrant, and then also unclip these little notches right here with a flathead, and then remove the nut. So the axle nut's removed. Now I have to remove the brake caliper here and the bracket, and then I've pre-soaked the upper strut mount right here, and as well back here on the lower control arm. That will have to be also taken out. So I actually went out and bought my first set of e-torques, which I never thought I'd need, but BMW has a lot of them on these vehicles. So just if you're going to work on these, make sure you have a set of them, because you'll need them at some point. I have the CV axle here disconnected on the left hand side of the vehicle. You join me the following day, and as you can see here, I do have a brace here holding the engine, because unfortunately I have to drop the front subframe. I removed the front drive shaft here that goes into the front differential. Again, just to give you guys an idea how bad it is. So I just have to disconnect the motor mounts on either side, one over here and then over here as well. At the front of the vehicle, I think there's 4 bolts up there that I have to remove, and then 2 up here, and then 1 bolt further back on the subframe here on either side. Although in the front of the subframe here, I did notice that there's a transmission cooler, I believe, right here at the very front. So there is 2 10 mils holding that in, so I'm gonna undo that, so that way it'll be free of the subframe, and I think we're clear. Now that I have easy access to the front differential, all I have to do now is remove the 4 bolts holding it in, and it should come off no problem. This is the gear oil that came out of the front differential, and as you can see, it's got a lot of silver metallic in it, and also there's a bearing in there as well. That was a lot of work just to take out this tiny little front differential that failed. And just like I showed you guys before, this had blown out basically. So I have the new one right here, and the new one's here on the right, and look at that, no play in the bearing. It is solid as a rock. So this one has 55,000 kilometers, and this one, well, I don't know actually. I'm a little bit concerned because I see this written on the top here, so that makes me believe that maybe at one point it was replaced. But anyways, we'll put the new one in and see how it goes. So on the differential here, there's an O-ring that goes right into the oil pan, and I'm actually going to replace this O-ring right now. And then I'm going to clean this up with a little bit of brake clean here, just on a towel, and then put on the new O-ring. Okay, with the new O-ring here, with a little bit of gear oil on it, I'm just going to slide it over now. And there we go. So we'll try to remove the CV axle here on the left-hand side of the vehicle. Unfortunately, I mushroomed the threads on it, so I end up having to buy a new one. Lesson learned. Be more careful next time. So here's the new one. It even comes with a new collar to lock it. And luckily for this one, I didn't have to use that tool to pull it through. It actually just went through just enough, which is great. Now that I have the new CV axle installed, I'm going to undo the fill plug up here on the front differential, and then undo this drain plug right here. And then if there's any old fluid, it should come out, and I'll fill it up with some new stuff. I feel this is a great opportunity to do more servicing on the driveline and by servicing the transfer case and also the rear differential. Unlike the front differential and transfer case, you actually have to suck out the fluid out of the rear differential. Now that the front differential is fixed, it's now time to tackle some stuff here in the engine bay. First thing is going to be actually the oil filter housing. That's leaking. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but it was leaking. I did clean the engine bay prior to you seeing it now, so I will be replacing that. And then also had a misfire on cylinder 5. So I actually pulled out the spark plug on cylinder number 1 here and noticed that it was pretty old looking, so I'm going to replace all the spark plugs and then also do an oil change while I'm at it. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually remove this air intake right here. Just to even get to the oil filter housing, you actually have to remove this part at least just to get to it. So just remove the whole thing because I'm going to need to get over into these other cylinders in the back as well. There we go. No metal flakes in there, which is good. First thing I'm going to do is take off this oil cooler right here. I'm going to have bit of a tray underneath as well because it's going to definitely go down the front of the car. So I'm actually going to use this container right here and put that underneath this hose right here so that way we'll catch any excess coolant. And there we go, that's one of the gaskets I'll be replacing. I might be able to get to it using this. Something tells me that's just not doable. So the intake manifold has to come off as well, or at least move enough to the way I can actually get in there. Actually, what feels like an attorney, I finally got the intake moved here, so that way I can get access to that bolt right there, and then there's one here, and then one below right there. And I think that should be everything. All right, the moment of truth, I can take this off now. New gasket that goes on the engine to the oil filter housing. Okay, this car has definitely pushed me in the sense of how silly it is just to even get to these spark plugs in the back here, because you actually have to remove all this cabin air filter housing basically, even just to get to the bracket which runs across the top here. And then once you have that, you can take out the foam that goes along the top here, and then once you have that, you have to undo the rest of this air intake right here, which I've just left it as is. And now I can finally get to all the coil packs to take those out and then take the spark plugs out. Good job, BMW. Well, at least they make the coil packs easy to take out. With the old, and with the new. So if you guys know me by now, I always check the spark plug gap is correct, even though it is pre-gapped already from the factory. It never hurts to double check. Okay, now I can finally get to number 5 and 6. Okay, so this is the cylinder number 5 coil pack right here. And basically this was giving me a misfire code. So what I'm gonna do, just in case a misfire code comes back after changing the spark plugs, I'm actually gonna move this to cylinder 1 right here, because I don't wanna have to do all this stuff just to get access to it again. And this is a cylinder number 5 spark plug, just in case you guys wanna see it. After what seemed like a lot of work to something that should have been an easy fix, the BMW is back on the road after doing the front differential and some service work, and of course a few unexpected things thrown in the mix. It's out here on the road again, and my goodness, it is quite a nice vehicle to drive. I've actually never driven a BMW SUV, especially one like this, so it's kind of a different experience to what I had driven in the E46 about 10 years ago. But nonetheless, though, I think this is a decent vehicle. But the question is, do I really want to keep it? I don't know. I mean, it's nice, but it doesn't really serve me a whole lot of purpose. I mean, if it was the diesel and had a towing package, I would definitely consider it. But this one here, it's all right. I mean, it doesn't really excite me all that much driving it. I have driven around, obviously, a little bit before filming it here now, but it doesn't really enlighten me to want to keep it so much. So I may end up selling it in the future, and if I do, I will make a video on that. But I just want to say thank you very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button, and also consider subscribing so that way you don't miss any future videos like this and other car projects and reviews on my channel. And until next time, take care. Bye now.